What's going on, guys? Hey, Repeat here, and this is
the FilterTime eSpark iRacing Series, hydrated by Be Water.
What's going on, guys? Hey, how are you? It's all Repeat back here, as always, with the one and only young Byron Jones, also known as AZ Yotes King. However you decide to call him, you go ahead and do it. Bod Fusion, definitely see you out there in chat. But tonight, it's all about this FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by our buddies at Be Water. And look at that beautiful black paint scheme for the one and only Jordan Bain sitting on pit road. I gotta love it. Byron, how are you tonight from Texas Motor Speedway?
Man, I'm doing excellent. Went out and saw this track a little bit not that long ago, so I got a full grip, sort of understanding the track and how it acts between guys. But yeah, I'm excited. Like you said, this beautiful Be Water that we were just looking at as we move over to the 5 target machine. But I'm expecting these guys to sort of slip and slide all over the place. Definitely getting loose out of 2 a ton. And at the end of the day, of course, always excited to see some great racing from everybody on track every week. They managed to put on a great show for us up here.
Absolutely. These guys got about 30 seconds left of practice, and then we're going to kick off qualifying. And, man, you want to talk about getting ready as they're going 3 wide through turns 3 and 4 right there with old Tom Flitcroft and John Hunnicutt to his outside going across the start stripe. We're talking about 110 laps, Texas Motor Speedway. The clock is down to about 0. They're going to be making their last-minute adjustments, whether it's wheel or brake bias, whatever, and get ready to hit the queue. We're about to see everybody disappear, and odds on who rolls off pit road first. Who do you got?
It seems like it's always either Jordan McGraw or John Hunnicutt. Those feel like those are always the first 2 to roll off. Although Pole, I wouldn't be surprised if it's possibly Jordan Bain or James Holtzer if he does qualify.
All right. Well, let's see. I'm continuously looking, and you're pretty close. Looks like it's gonna be the SpongeBob SquarePants number 94 for Sam Morris. Max Castro has also pulled out just behind him. This is going to be a very tricky pit road exit because you have to follow that wall all the way around. If you come across that white line and you don't have all 4 tires crossing that blue exit line, it's very possible to get a black flag as we watch the 94 complete his warm-up lap, getting into turns 1 and 2 right now.
Yeah, and even if your tires do come up just a little bit off that white line as well before you hit that blue line, that also could result in one. So guys got to be calm, cool, and conservative through that. But as you see right now, currently the 94 of Samuel Morris taking his nice pace lap, as some would put it, warming up the tires, making sure that thing's ready and ramped up to go this time by.
All right, so we saw what the 94 was able to do on his first lap. Of course, top of the board for him. How about the 37 of Elliott Henderson in this EHG Designs Toyota?
Yeah, he's another one of those fast guys that we got to keep an eye out almost all the time. He seems to be in the right places at the right times just about every week, although he does find himself collected just a tad bit in different cars. Maybe that's why he changed up his paint scheme this week, going purple instead of green. I like it.
Yeah, he's got those Joker colors on there. Let's check in with the 50 now of John Hunnicutt in this High-Tech Securities number 50 Camaro. All the way high, wide, and handsome, up against the wall, just letting it eat as much as it can, not scrubbing off too much tire, and trying not to put too much wheel into it. Looking pretty good so far. I believe this is going to be his first lap under speed across the line. So far, he's showing P number 7. Let's try Jordan Bain.
Oh, yeah, one of the fastest guys out here in the entire series, now taking his rounds around the track, making sure he's all ready and settled in. Coming through for his first lap. He's typically one of the guys that gets up in the wall, but that's not going to be a good lap time for him. That's actually going to be an invalid lap time and started his next lap. Therefore, I believe Jordan Bain is all done for his qualifying.
Just got a message. I'm going to wait for clarification, but got a message from WVU fan out there in chat saying making a new session. So I think something may be up. So we'll kind of wait and see for this one to die. But yeah, that's a number 53 Kool-Aid car. Looking pretty good there. And let's see, how about Jose Ruiz? He's going to, I guess if they are going to go ahead and make a new session, maybe he's just going to go ahead and get out there, considering the session details would all be the same. They'll go ahead and transfer on over, go on out, burn a couple laps, see exactly what he's going to have under him in this number 23 DuPont scheme. Brand new colors for old Jose.
Yeah, not typically the Jeff Gordon type of guy he is, but tonight it's seeming like he's all for it. I love the paint scheme. It just looks so well done. You gotta give props to those guys that take time and go ahead and get that thing all done, and it looks nice and pretty out on the track right now.
Absolutely. As you see, the 23, he came across the line, or nope, he hasn't yet. This is actually his completed lap right now. Jose Ruiz comes across the line, and it looks like he would qualify if we do stay right here as of about P7, as we'll go ahead and check in with Justin Montz in this number 41.
Yeah, Justin Montz now going to go ahead and take his first lap. I am seeing a ton of people are starting to disconnect, so I think at this point, if you're on the track qualifying, run as many laps as you can. Get a feel for the car while the new session's being put up. As you see, currently coming on down the backstretch for Justin Montz, very first lap time. We'll have to see where he places out, but he's looking very good heading in 3 and 4.
Absolutely. Man, I'll tell you what, I'm really loving the colors of this number 41 Gamer Advantage Chevy Camaro. A little loose. Ooh. Way to hide that. Way to handle that thing all sideways off the line. And as Montz came across the line right there, he was P number 6. Looks like he is the last one on track right now. So I'm going to guess we'll start to see more and more people evacuate the session and head on over to something new. Nope, and actually qualifying is done. So we'll go ahead and back out of here as well. Still seeing, it looks like if the number holds true, we'll have about 29 people for tonight's race.
Which is a good amount, actually, as I believe I did hear somebody join the Discord.
Breaking news from the tower. I'm sorry to interrupt the broadcast, Pete, but it's your buddy. I'm here with K. Harvick fan. We actually broke the session. There was accidentally some DQs handed out, so we've had to make a new session. That session is going live in about a minute. Just wanted to let you know.
I appreciate you, sir.
All right.
All right, so all these guys got out there. They got a chance to feel what their car was going to be like under them. Nate Nicholson, with Dunn right behind him, would have been your top two, with Elliott Henderson, Conor Cordese, Max Castro, Justin Montz, Jose Ruiz, Sam Morris, John Hunnicutt, and to round out the no longer legit top 10 would have been Hunter Brittle. So if you just went out, you tried to put down 3 burner laps, you have an idea. Do you stay at 12? Do you stay at 14? Do you boost it up to 16? I think that's a pretty good practice qualifying session for everybody, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, I think you sort of, I guess, look at your lap times, understand, be like, okay, so that was the time. I got to figure out something different here. If it is a little bit slower, maybe you start cranking up your steering ratio. Maybe you crank up your steering offset, or you turn down your brake bias. It solely depends on how you felt your qualifying was. If it wasn't that good, try to do something different. See if it can't help out your car. Worst case scenarios, it makes you a little bit slower, and you just have to fight your way just a tad bit through the pack. At the end of the day, though, we all know Texas. It loves being single file. It loves being within each other close radius at certain times. It just solely depends on how the car and track is wanting to act that day.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and back out of that and get ready to roll in a new session as soon as that comes on up. Stratus, what's happening, man? Absolutely, we are ready for some great racing tonight. And G Weeks, good to see them back out there as well. Definitely appreciate everybody so far that's come out and hanging out with us and chatting it up, keeping us company. Just waiting on this new session to come on up so we can get in there, start everything somewhat anew. I don't believe there will be a new practice session. They might get a quick, maybe 5 seconds. Imagine that. 5 minutes, give or take, and then qualifying. I am just waiting. Let me see. See if we can find it right quick. Go ahead, buddy. What you got?
Nope, I'm just checking around right now, trying to see if it is joinable, and it's looking like it should be very soon. Yep, it's joinable now.
Okay. What's it under?
It would be under our league session, under the eSpark section in leagues.
All right. Nope, that's not it. 'Cause it's telling me race only. League directory. Yay. Nope, that's not what I wanted either.
Nope.
League session.
Kind of love technical difficulties, right?
Right.
See, the first one we ran into was a speed bump today.
That's still, that one there is still telling me. Right. Dang it! Oh, okay. So let's go back out the other way. Are you in there?
I am loading up right now. Yes.
Okay, that one's okay. Yep, I see it. It's saying that there's about 23 races in there, so I'm going to go ahead and load in right off of you. That way, I don't have. If you've got a problem, then I've got a problem. Then we've got a problem. Then we both have to back out together, and we're doing it with mutual problems.
What's that little best friend TikTok?
No.
There's like best friends.
No.
No.
No. No. No. No.
I guess we're not friends. Breaking news: Repeat is not my friend.
All right, let's go ahead and break on in here.
Hang on, I will be right back in 1 second. I'm going to test something.
I hope it's not a COVID test. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and pop on in. What?
If you like, we head on over to the other boys' channels. It looks like they got those all fixed up and rolling over there too.
Ooh. Can I?
Do. We are breaking.
Everybody,
tower,
welcome to the humor of the one and only owner of eSpark, Tyler Dohar.
The new session is live from Texas Motor Speedway, and the voice channels in the eSpark Discord are working again. Thank you.
How about that? All right, so let's pop on over there. And yes, I can actually see myself carrying on a conversation. Let's just wait on old Byron Jones to realize that I've moved on over. There he is.
There we go.
All right, so now we are back in our normal home, back to, as Dohar would say, regularly scheduled program. And I need to do that. And just waiting on everything to pop up. Definitely appreciate everybody out there being patient. G-Week says, good to be back and listen to quality commentary. Byron, do you think he's in the wrong channel?
I ain't quality, I can tell you that. I'm just one of those like side persons that you pick up on the side of the street and like, here, I need a job done.
We're back. Let's go ahead and cut that. All right, so back at it. So as you can see there, they got about 5.5 minutes left to practice. So now everybody's going to come on out as we're kind of rolling around with just random cars. You see the 2 there, you see the 3, and we're actually going to go ahead and pick up with the 3 of Josh Harbin. This is old Bear 95. Bear's only been on iRacing now for a couple weeks, doing pretty well. He's up to almost a 2200 I rating. He just got on iRacing the night before we ran Atlanta Motor Speedway, so just a few very short weeks ago. And man, I was talking to him and Nick Vroman the other day. He's gonna do all right. honestly believe that in my heart of hearts that Bear is really going to excel as time goes on. Let's see if we can't find. How about Conor Cordese? Here he is in this number 24 Bud machine. Now, okay, yeah. So this is 24. We were with the 23 of Jose Ruiz before, so no confusion there. It's actually that's a nice looking Bud machine. That's actually Dr. Bush from the old ENEA days. How about that?
At least it's not a Jeff Gordon scheme on a Toyota car. I'll take it. 24. It's got Bud Light, which is, I guess, more towards Earnhardt. You know what? It's on a Chevy. I'll take that. We'll leave it at that. It's on a Chevy. I don't want to spark no conversations about the potential of that. But yeah, Dr. Bush, man, one of those guys that was amazing up in the Cup Series over on the NNR side, now finding himself over here on the iRacing side. It's amazing to see everybody sort of find their shuffle, and now it seems like this is the hot spot for everybody to go.
Yeah, definitely. And more people are starting to load in. Dohar gave him a good 6 or 7 minutes to get loaded in. Make sure that they're settled and ready to go. So far, only seeing about 14 people that have taken time. So if everything moved over as it was, let's actually go ahead and take a look at the weather if we can. Yeah, here we go. And we'll go ahead and move that swag logo for just a second. So it looks like we're going to be looking at 132 degree track temp with a 90 degree air temperature. So yeah, these cars are going to be a handful all afternoon, Byron.
Yeah, where's your little weatherman? You got Dohar being out, you're breaking news, and you can't stand there with like a little green screen putting your hand in the surface area where it's going to be hot and where it's not. As we see the 75 of Riley Dunn spin around, a fellow Arizonan right here. This is, I mean, commentators shouldn't have a pick, but I'm going to say I have a pick, and that's the 75 of Riley Dunn, also known as Holy Nugget, that was over on the Xbox side, now finding himself over here too. So, guys starting to pick up.
I was wondering when I was talking to Nick Brome at HD Motorsports before I actually moved over here. I was like, who's Dunn? I don't remember the name. Yeah, filling in the blanks. So Holy Nugget. So good to see him switch over to the dark side. Come on over to the sim. But these guys got about just under 2 minutes to go. Anybody out there in chat, if you've got to go down the stairs and grab yourself a Bee Water or a Raise Energy or a Bee Water with a Raise Energy hydration pack in it, whatever you got to do, go ahead and do that. If you need to use the restroom, come on over. Go on. Yeah, don't come on over. Go on over. You're not going to want to miss qualifying and getting into this race. So far, 22 have taken time. I just saw Holtzer just get knocked into tomorrow as Joey Stone came off the corner and didn't have enough time to see him. Rock NASCAR, buddy. Good to see you out there, sir. Hope you're well.
Yeah. Good old, the more and more names keep looking at, and you were talking about Joey Stone, now Tom Flaycroft, old Tom Flitty, I think is what it was, right?
That's what it was, Tom Flitty.
There you go.
Going back to NASCAR 09.
There you go, Tom just currently taking his roundabouts in the 8th place position under practice right now, sort of still getting a feel for the track. It seems like that's what everybody's doing right now, making sure they're fully understood, trying to, I guess, understand how well the track will react to their tires depending on how late in a run they are. As you see the 3 of good old Bear now coming in right behind that 16 of Cody Giles. Practice is essential, and something you may need to do is something like that 16. Run the high groups. See what the other groups can do for you at a track like Texas, because we know a lot of the time it's just a one-lane groove.
Absolutely. Tell you what, that was really interesting. Glad Bear kind of slid down and not up. But, man, this is a beautiful-looking number 16 axe machine for Cody Giles. Old Fluffy. If you didn't catch the last podcast that Jaden Gimbel put out there, iRace, make sure you go on over to Spotify, look it up, and give it a listen. So far, he's had 3 total sessions. The first session was Jordan Bain and Tyler Dohar, the leaders of B-Water, and right here for the FilterTime eSpark series. Then it was Terry Radford and Randy Hinshaw. And the last episode they did was with Montz and Holtzer. You want to talk about 3 great episodes, make sure you go on back and give them a listen. Definitely very well worth the time. So we started off before with Sam Morris. Guess who's coming out first this time, bud?
John Hunnicutt. No, I'm just playing. Sam Morris, yeah, he's now going to come out, hopefully try to repeat what he did the last time in his good old SpongeBob SquarePants Ford Mustang, as now he's going to go ahead and take his roundabouts off of 4. It's kind of surprising to see a lot of these drivers are going mid to low lane, when if you go high lane, it gives you more momentum coming off. But obviously they know something that I don't, is now Mr. SpongeBob SquarePants is going to take his circles around the track.
Yeah, getting that SpongeBob SquarePants machine all the way down to the bottom in 1 and 2, about half a car lane up, not too bad. Right up against that outside wall, you let the car travel up. That way you're not putting too much wheel into it, not scrubbing too much speed off, which is something very, very possible here at Texas. Across the start stripe, he's going to be the first one to take time. And so far, he's looking at a 31:10. We'll go back and take a look at the number 50 here of John Hunnicutt. He's going down the backstretch now into turns 3 and 4. He's coming to complete his first time. We'll have to see how he settles in. Looks like he would be about P6 right now. Now you talk about O'Reilly Dunn. In this number 75, you were kind of talking about him just a little bit ago. He's all the way on that bottom and absolutely wheeling. He's got those orange gloves on the wheel. You can see every single movement he's making inside that Camaro.
Hey, right there, Riley Dunn up to the top of the boards. I don't know. It's something about being in Arizona, being able to drive a Texas track, rather. Riley Dunn now up at the top, but not looking to stop. He's going to try to make this lap even better.
Yeah, not doing too bad at all. Again, look at him all the way down on the bottom. You watch his hands move inside that car. He's turning to he doesn't know which way he wants to go, but not bad at all. Yes, so far, Dunn on top. Let's find old Tyler Dohar's. Looks like his scheme. There's that FilterTime scheme for him. Shaking it back and forth, maybe trying to get a little bit of heat in the tire. Well, hopefully not having too much of a problem, though.
No, yeah, not at all. There you go. That's what I was talking about. Good old Tyler Dohar going to go from the top and let the momentum swing into the start of this lap. Now he's going to go head on down in the 1 and 2. Typically, you see these guys full out. You may see them breaking a little bit later in the race if it does come down to it, to a long green flag stop. Like you said, on down here, backstretch. You want to get as close as you can to that wall. Try to break the arrow. 3 and 4, it's almost foot down in the gas the entire time.
Dohar, unlike everybody else so far, he's actually staying up in that second groove, really wheeling it, coming off the corner, down as far as he can to the grass. And as he comes across the line, he's looking at last right now, but it could be because he took that higher line, but also something we didn't, at least I didn't think about until just now. These guys start the race on the tires that they qualify with. So he might have a better set of tires if they go green here in the long run, as we're keeping an eye on Jeff No. He went up higher, so he scrubbed off a little less. His tires are going to be fresher for the start of this 110 miler here from Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, and that was something we sort of took notice of not that long ago, was James Holtzer, one of the fastest guys that we've seen so far in the league, being able to win what has been 5 for 7 now, and he hasn't qualified at least 3 out of those 3 or 4 out of those races that he hasn't qualified, hopped on track or anything. I think he's slowly starting to realize about the tires and how much they truly do scrub off. But worst case scenario, take 1 lap, see where that puts you, then pull it on down pit road. At least you got a better starting spot than what you would have had if you didn't.
Kind of glad that I picked back up on that swagged.biz car, because I took the logo down for a second and take a look at the weather, and I didn't put back up, and then saw the car. It's like, oh yeah. But yeah, looking at the 9 now of Cody Kalinka, old Sledgehammer from back in the day on console. He's looking pretty good in this red, white, and blue Patriots tribute to old Tom Brady after his retirement. Let's check in with Timothy Moore. Nope, that is going to be it. So looks like it's going to be... we got about 5 minutes now for the warm-up. We're going to make a couple quick adjustments, guys. Please don't go anywhere. We're still going to be right here, but we'll be right back. All right. As Matt McConaughey would say, we're going to go ahead. That was my worst impression probably ever. But we're going to go ahead and get sorted and, get ready to get going. These guys are going to go ahead and get gridded here in just a moment. There they are. One by one. Well, let's go ahead and fix that for you. There we go. So it's going to be the 5 of Brendan Book on the pole in that number 5 Camaro. Then you're going to have the 75 of Riley Dunn. The 41 of old Justin Montz with Jacob Kerr in that 11. Conor Cordese, old Dr. Bush in the number 24. Cody Giles, Mr. Fluffy in the 16. Jordan Bain rocking that number 28 B-Water Machine. Tom Flitty, old Tom Flitcroft in the number 8. Hunter Brittle in the number 10. That's going to be your top 10 starting spot so far. Elliott Henderson's going to start Elliott Henderson, rather, is going to be 10th in that number 37. Tyler Dohar in that number 77, starting 11th. The 6 of Joey Stone in P12. Then we're going to have Maxwell Castro in that number 27, 13th. 14th is going to be the 94 of Sam Morris. Then we're going to have Jason Keffer in this number 33. Then he's going to be P15. Then the 50 of John Hunnicutt in P16. P17 is going to be the 23 of Jose Ruiz in these new DuPont colors. Jordan McGraw, old J-Mac, sitting in P18, car number 34. Where are you? Sean Blanchard in this number 91. Just reverse those numbers. Number 19 starting position. 20th of Cody Kalinka. Big welcome to him. John Osborne in that number 53, starting 21st. The 74 of Tim Moore in that cat car. Stephen Harris in the number 78. James Holtzer in this Raise Energy Camaro. Man, this man has been hard to beat. Nate Nicholson in this number 47. Old Jeff No Stout Whiskey in his number 2 Miller Lite car. Ryan Lindemann in the 27th spot in the number 57. Toll Owen in the 09. Then we got Derek Garrison starting 29th in that number 13. The 88 of Jordan Martin starting P30. And then the number 3 of Josh Harbin, the Bear, starting back in 31st. So let's go ahead and get back up with these guys. They're already under green. Just people getting off of pit road a little bit later or whatever the case may be. But so far, it is all Brendan Book, Riley Dunn, Justin Montz, Cody Giles, and Jacob Kerr as your top 5. Everybody coming off 4, going through the tri-oval. Of course, now going into 1, everybody chasing this number 5. Might be a little bit of an issue in the back with Ryan Lindemann, but so far, no caution. Lap number 2 is underway, and the entire backstretch full of cars. 31 cars is what we're going to have on track all night, ladies and gents. As long as we don't have any big issues, we'll have to see if that's how many finish. This could be a great points night for some, and who knows, might be not so much for some others. But we're going to find out later on at the end of 110 laps who's going to fire off those 6 shooters from victory lane.
Hey, guess who's back? Sorry, I didn't expect it to go green this early. Brendan Book, Riley Dunn still within each other. Meanwhile, Justin Montz slowly starting to fall off pace now, back 5/10 from the leaders. And it's just a huge gaggle of cars right behind him. 41 Justin Montz, though, trying to catch back up with that group.
Yeah, he's going to try, and he's got a good view from the 16 of Cody Giles with Jacob Kerr right behind him in the 11. Giles up 2 spots, Kerr down 1 spot. Top 3 so far exactly the same as they were when they started. I'm very, very impressed so far with the patience all these guys are exhibiting here at Texas. But you know, as the race goes on, that's going to go out the window. Every spot matters. And don't forget, this is the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by B-Water. B-Water has added a little extra something for the overall winner at the end of the season. Exactly what or how much it is yet to be seen, but these guys aren't racing for nothing.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you want to be that top dog. You want to be the guy with the most points. You can walk into the postseason saying, hey, you know what, I'm ready, I'm excited. But if you can't make up what you did during that regular season to get yourself there, you can pretty much take everything you had and throw it out the window. And as you see now, Tyler Dohar down 2 positions so far this race in P13, trying to track down that 6 Chevy of Joey Stone. Meanwhile, the 24 of Conor Cordese is up in that high lane, and he is looking a lot slower than everybody else.
Yeah, he's definitely got something going on. He's way up high. Let's see if we can't actually take a look at the right rear. I'm sorry, the right front of that 24 and see if he's got some kind of problem. And yeah, he does. And yes, we've got a caution.
Yeah, caution out, so that is going to allow him to fix up the car. I wonder what may have brought that one out, but it looks like it may have been Nathan Nicholson.
Yeah, I think it might have to do something with Nathan Nicholson and our points leader, James Holtzer. Let's go back and see if we can't take a look. James Holtzer, he's already going through the grass. Let's try Nathan Nicholson. He's going through the grass as well, so it's kind of like monkey see, monkey do. Let's bring it all the way back and see where these guys are. It looks like the 24 Jose Ruiz is going to have something to do with him. We're going to switch this up, bring it back to their chase camera with the 47, and we'll go ahead and play it from here. Nate Nicholson, he was in the middle line, brought it all the way down to the white line, and you see him so far, so good. It looks like the 23 got a little loose. Both the 17 and the 47 had to check up. 47 tried to go low, and that's how he got just that little bit of damage. But the 17, he also had some problems. Let's see if we can't pick up with the 7th. Looking for him right now. Actually, we'll do it the easy way. Here we go.
From what it looked like the 94 may have backed up just a tad, and 17 clipped the 23 rear end and may have spun him around, created that whole situation.
All right, so this is on board with that Raise Energy number 17. I still think it's the Phantom Frost flavor, Raise Energy drink. I still think that. But okay, so it looks like the 23 was actually checking up maybe for the 94, and the 17 got into the back end, and yeah, that's kind of all she wrote. But let's actually take a look at the right front for this 17 and see how he's looking. No harm, no foul. It looks like the Goodyear decal is still in one piece, and that side's not pushed in. So I think he might have gotten away with one there.
Yeah, got away with one indeed. Yeah, very, very lucky to get away with minimal or no damage on that race car. And now what do? You're 7 laps in, sort of understanding the car. You come on down pit road, fill up on fuel with knowing how long this race is, 110 laps. Or do you hang out, stay out, see if you can't try to gain positions, especially in the back?
Well, it looks like Brendan Book, Riley Dunn, and Cody Giles, they all stayed out. Justin Montz, he's still there as well. So is the 11 of Jacob Kerr. So at least your top 5 stayed out. 9 laps in, I didn't catch exactly how many sets of tires these guys started on. You can tell that the lights on the pace car are out. So we'll be going back green here just momentarily. We're going to go ahead and bring it up to the blimp and go, figure about P number 7 with Elliott Henderson. Get a little bit more of a view for these top 12, top 14. Bod Fusion out there in chat says, I need to be in more leagues. I'm bored and want to race. Bod Fusion, the old NNR Fusion from back in the day. Good to see him again.
Right? All the names are starting to pop back up again. We're starting to see the great names, great faces. We need to get Dan the Lawn Man on here, though.
That would be amazing.
We got to get him to do the service. Like at halftime, he goes through, make sure the grass is all clipped.
I would love to talk to Dan again. I did see that the one and only Bossy Gio from back in the day is over on iRacing, so good to see him. Like you said, the crowd is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Everybody is ultimately making the switch. 5 car on the loud pedal, 41.75, 11.16 is going to be your top 5. And right now, the 37 of Elliott Henderson giving that 11 a little bit of a shove going into turns 1 and 2. Tom Flitcroft right behind him, and then Mr. Brittle in that number 10 as well.
The 41 of Justin Montz going to be able to clear the 75 of Riley Dunn. Change those two around. 41 now going to be in second place, looking to hunt down your leader. Meanwhile, the 75's looking to get that 41 up there, as the 16 and 11 are now going to battle side by side through the tri-oval. And you were talking about how many sets of tires these guys got. They only got 4 sets of tires to stretch 110 laps. I think that's more than enough sets if you do it about right. Come on down about lap 40. They'll be just fine with an extra set laying around just in case if a late race wreck does happen, which we've seen happen a ton already this season, Pete.
All right, so now I got to ask you, if you were back there with the 47 and with the 17 and the 23 and others, that all just happened. You've slid a little bit through the grass, a little bit on the blacktop. Do you go down, even though it's only 10 laps in, and grab your second set of Eagle Feel Goods, or do you stay on out for a little bit of track position, hoping that some people come in behind you, knowing that they're going to be faster, not only in the short run, but in the long run as well? I think that might be a little bit of a catch-22 scenario. What exactly do you do, Mr. Byron?
That's a great question. I think you guys sort of stay out, see how the tires act, hoping maybe if a caution does come out in the next 10 or so laps to see if your tires are sort of balding already, if there's bald spots on the tires and you can clearly feel it, or if you can't feel nothing, keep riding with what you got. And knowing if you didn't lock it up, like the 23, I'm sure he came on down for tires. He definitely has bald spots all over those tires, alongside the 17 and can't remember the other one. But yeah, those guys got to come on down, get their tires, because if not, that's going to be a long next 30 to 40 lap run that they're going to get.
Well, we're actually going to go in the back and catch up with old James Holtzer in that raised Camaro. He's getting underneath that 94. Holtzer right now, I'm sorry, that's not Holtzer. Here's Holtzer. He's still behind the 94, rather. He is up so far 8 positions, even with that slide in the grass. The 47 that was with him, he's a few cars up. The old Nate Nicholson, the guy that completely dominated the Watkins Glen race. He's 3 spots ahead of James Holtzer. He's got Josh Harbin and Jordan McGraw in between those two.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a mix right there. You got Jordan McGraw, which I believe actually is from Texas, if I am not mistaken. I believe I could be wrong, though, but in his, I can't read that well. I don't have that best of quality, but I believe it's in his Texas Tech car, if I'm looking at it right, Texas Tech car. So yeah, there you go. He is from Texas, at least from what it looks like. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place right now, but Jordan McGraw.
No,
already
dude, you're
up two
absolutely
positions in
fine.
this race.
You're 100% right. Out of Bridgeport, Texas, old J-Mac. So yeah, doing a great job. And yeah, man, when you know, you know. But we're gonna catch back up with old Joey Stone in this number 6, looking pretty good. We're actually gonna try to grab a different view. Actually, let's go on board with Joey Stone. We'll jump on his gyro cam and let him take us a lap around Old Texas Motor Speedway for a lap or two. There he is. He's got the 27 of Maxwell Castro right behind and Jordan Bain in front. Let's take a look at his view. All right, so yeah, that was on board with a couple different options for old Joey Stone. Still got Maxwell Castro right behind him, and still Jordan Bain right in front. Byron, it really looked like Joey was having a little bit of an issue getting that number 6 to pen down on that white line, where Jordan Bain, he's about a half a car length up, now all the way down on it. Joey, that last lap, looked like he either overshot the corner or missed his mark and wasn't able to get all the way down. But now he's got some help, got a little bit of a push. It shouldn't be long until he's all over the back end of this number 28 B-Water Camaro. I'm sorry, Ford Mustang, rather, for Jordan Bain.
Yeah, most definitely. If you can't hit your marks, then you're sort of screwed at that point. If you mess it up just a little and you get back in, you can find yourself getting suctioned up into that wall, which does happen later in the runs. You'll see a lot of these guys get up near that wall, and it seems like some sort of suction cup just comes down and grabs your car and pulls it in. Next thing you know, you got to get that thing all fixed up. But as we're looking at one of the guys that sort of seems like he's understanding the track right now, the 50 of John Hunnicutt. For a beautiful shot we are now receiving with all the cars fly past us. I did see sparks. Looks like somebody did get a hold of the wall just a little down there on the backstretch.
Yeah, now 21 laps into this race. Everybody through turns 3 and 4 coming across the start stripe. And you see them all kinds of slideways coming off the corner across the start stripe, coming to complete one more lap. This is just like one, we talk about conveyor belts at a place like Martinsville or Bristol or whatever, which is what it eventually gets to become. That's really what it's looking like with all 31 to 32 cars here tonight with this FilterTime eSpark Series from Texas Motor Speedway.
Yeah, everybody's sort of just all running single file. I guess they're content where they're at, which is good. It's nice to be content where you are and then understand the track a little bit later. It's nice to see a move currently happen between two cars. That's one of the things, too. One person screws up in that conveyor belt, it sort of hinders everybody else in it. It's nice to see guys trying to find their way up in that second groove, but may not work out. Actually, it should on the backstretch here with the run they get. Here we go, side by side, the 10 and the 28.
Yeah, 28 down low, Hunter Brittle up top in the 10. As you see the 6 of Stone looking underneath. I think he had to put a little extra wheel into that thing in order not to wash up into the 10. Might have even been a little bit of contact right there to the left rear of the 10, but no harm, no foul. They're going to stay going straight. 10 now up high. These guys slowing up so much getting into this corner. I really thought for a second their caution was out.
No, the weird thing is with either you run these things in trucks, Cup, not the next gen, but the old gen that we had just last season, or Xfinity cars. When you head in the 1 and 2, a little bit older tires, you have to brake just a tad. to get that car down on the white line to be able to get a good drive off. Or else you're going to find yourself sliding up into that wall off of 2. But as I said that, though, another side-by-side battle going on right now between the 33 of Jason Keffer and the 10 of Hunter Brittle, as they're going to go side-by-side almost 3 wide down the backstretch.
Yeah, 47, he went ahead and decided he was going to pull that to the inside. Not doing too bad whatsoever. So 47 went for a slide through the grass earlier with James Holtzer. Now Holtzer right behind. 10, a little bit of contact to the back end of the 33. 33 slid up in front, thought he was clear. 10 said, I ain't lifting. He took a little bit of a boot. 33 got on by. Here comes the 27. Here comes the 77, as well as the 17. A whole lot of 7s in this train coming on by the 10.
Start signaling that train whistle because these guys are taking off. As now the 10's going to be sent back. He's now going to be the caboose of that train. Meanwhile, the 37 of Elliott Henderson trying to track down the top 3 up there in front of him. He's got him in their windshield, but he's, as my dad would say, got to make it bigger in his windshield if he can. And if he gets closer, guess what? You're getting bigger in my windshield. I'm ready to pass you sooner or later. Right now, it's seeming like nobody's got anything for that top 3.
Yeah, we're going to go ahead and bring it on back up here with the 5 of Brendan Book. Now, Brendan, he led the series points for the first 2 or 3 races, and then there was a little bit of a battle between him and the 17. Ultimately, the 17 was able to go ahead and take it, as it actually sounds like, you hear that? I hear nothing. I heard nothing right there from this 5 car of Brendan Book. We're actually going to go ahead and jump on with him right now. We're going to jump on a gyro. Let's see if we hear that again in 1 and 2. It really sounded like he killed that motor. Off at 3 and 4, coming to the start stripe, under the flag stand right now. He's going to get his arc in.
He does.
He does. Absolutely does. So the 5 is already in fuel save mode. Great job by Brendan. If he's got the lead and he knows that Justin Montz isn't really trying anything from behind, let's see if Justin Montz is doing the same thing. In 3 and 4. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, you can always see, too, if they kill their motor, when you see those RPMs on that dash up there go from 7 or something to 2. It means they really shut that thing off for the corner.
All right, so it seems like Montz, he's not killing it. He either isn't working with the shifter or not working the clutch pedal, or whichever. But he is not saving. So this is going to allow that 5 car to go just a little bit further. Now riding on board with P number 3, Cody Giles, as he comes off turn 4. Very, very close to the 41. 41 all over the back end of the 5, but no challenges as we come to start lap 31. Nope, don't hear him killing it either, Byron.
No, yeah, the lowest those 2 are getting is maybe mid 5,000 and 6,000 RPMs, but they ain't cutting it all the way down to that typical 2,000 RPMs that you would see, which is very interesting because you think if they would do that, they would have been around the 5 of Brendan Book already, but it seems like they're sort of content staying behind him. It's a 3-car breakaway from the entire field. They have almost a second on the 37 of Elliott Henderson, while the 8 of Tom Flitcroft and the 28 of Jordan Bain, those 3 got to sort of line up, see if they can't get in unison, try to catch the top 3 in front of them. Who knows? Maybe they can snag the 50 of John Hunnicutt along too.
Maybe riding on board right now overhead of the 37 of Elliott Henderson, and that is the gap from P4 to the top 3. He doesn't have the draft. He's not really going to do anything from right here. He's still full bore. He's still trying to go as quick as he can, but also saving just a little bit of tire. I ran a few test laps here with these guys the other night. Really, really tight getting in. As you said, you've got to absolutely lift quite a bit and, just tap the brake a second just to set the nose and then get back on the throttle. Texas has been pretty tricky since they changed the banking in 1 just a bit.
Yeah, it allows for more cars to get in there. As you see 28, 8, and 37 now slowly starting to catch up to each other. But yeah, it allows more of a wide racing, but it also sort of creates that big dip that you see down there. Look at the size comparison between those cars and that wall. It's a huge, you could probably fit 5 or 6 cars in between that wall and that white line. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, Texas Motor Speedway is absolutely wide. I mean, there's easy 3 or 4 lanes. You know, there's only 3 lanes marked out in paint, but you could easily fit 4. So now you got a group of 3, first through third. You got another group of 3 for 4th through 6th. Can this second pack actually catch the first pack? I don't know. As we watch the 28 of Bain get on under the 8 car of Tom Flitcroft, so he's going to go ahead and take that spot. Jordan Bain is amazing when it comes to tire management. He's got his wheel settings the way that he likes it. He doesn't crank on that wheel unless he absolutely has to. And now here he is. He's getting closer and closer to the 37. He's going to go ahead and try to look underneath them, coming through the tri-oval, door to door, going into 1.
Yeah, Jordan Bain now going to be able to successfully pass that 37 of Elliott Henderson, as Elliott did fall back a little, thought the 8 was going to get under him as well. I was thinking about the banking. Everything's bigger in Texas, am I right? 28 of Jordan Bain, though, trying to catch that 3-car pack. He's doing it at a slow but yet steady pace, while it looks like the 5 of Brendan Book starting to pull out once again from these two. Maybe he was saving, dropping back because of the gap he was able to create. I bet if he creates another big gap, you'll see him let off and cut the engine again, but I think at this point he's starting the run knowing that 28's up at P4 and looking for more.
SS Motorsports old Shad Swatsworth out there in chat throwing up 28 bits. Buddy, definitely appreciate it. He says he's lucky I'm not racing. I showed him the way.
So Mr. Shad teaching Bain, it's like that mentor thing. As you see the 16 get all the way to the rear end of that 41, he's going to give him a little bit of love tap through the tri-oval. These guys, you can see that 28 and how much closer he's starting to get. Gap starting to decrease between that 28, 41, and 16.
Yeah, I believe it was I think it was the 78 of Stephen Harris that Brendan Book just went ahead and put a lap down, as now Fluffy's going to go, or Cody Giles going to go ahead and take P2 away. So something I must have missed something when I was looking for the lap car or reading what Shad had put in chat. But Justin Montz now back to P3. Cody Giles in this Axe number 16 Camaro up to P2. And I'll tell you what, that's a nice looking 41, this Gamer Advantage car. Let's actually see if we can get a little bit better of a shot on it. Let's see from the side. He's kind of got the bottom half. Looks like it might be spec map or whatever. But man, that Gamer Advantage sponsorship on the side absolutely pops.
Yeah, it looks so good, and yeah, that is a chrome spec map that he does have on it. I wonder though if the top looks matte and the bottom looks spec map with that nice chrome finish on it. Wouldn't be surprised if that's the mixture he went with, but all in all, it came out absolutely beautifully. Meanwhile, the 28 trying to get in, he's like, hey, look at my B-Water car. It's right here. It's now he gets to the inside of the 41. These two are going to battle through tri-oval.
Yeah, through the tri-oval. I mean, he got Jordan down all the way to the grass line. Another inch or two, Jordan would have been trying to save it if he had gotten that front left in the grass. All the way down on that white line. He's going to wash up in front of the 41. Justin Montz going to do a great job at checking up for just a second. Here's the crossover.
Yep, crossover now going to happen. The 41 on the inside. He has the advantage through here. But as I say that, though, 28 of Jordan Bain able to just absolutely take off on that outside lane. Now he's going to clear him with no issues at all. Next guy up on his target list is that 15 of Cody Giles. Meanwhile, though, the 5 of Brendan Book still out to a 1.3 second gap. I wonder if he's done trying to save his fuel and he's in full race mode at this point.
Well, let's actually go ahead and jump back on board, see if that's exactly what he's doing or not. Back to his gyro, just like we were earlier. coming off of turns 3 and 4. He's not pitting this time. If he's been saving going into 1 and 2 each and every time, across the start stripe, through the latter end of the trioval, down into 1. Nope, so I'm guessing he is saved where he needs to be. He's got all of his gauges. He's got his relative. He's got his all of his tools up, and I think he's got to that point in the race where he says, okay, we're 43 laps in. I haven't pit yet. I can make it on 2 more stops. And that would be it. Again, now taking lap 44 out of 110. Long way to go, but there you saw the 24 going a lap down as the 5 went on by.
Yeah, everybody's still top 15, top 20, whatever it is, still refusing to come on down pit road just yet. I'm trying to look here and see if there is some sort of fuel limit. So fuel limit's 85%. Typically at a Texas track, I think they can go maybe 55, 60 on a full tank of gas. I could be wrong. So these guys are roughly down the 50, 47-ish. So if they are, Brendan Book could be trying to save to do a one-stop race, which is to have it happen right at that midpoint, 55 laps. If he can do that, we may have a huge game changer happening right now.
Well, so far, I mean, we had one caution very, very early about lap 10, give or take. But ever since then, it has been all clean and green. We've seen a lot of great battles. Starting lap 46, if he can go 9 more, I'd love to be a fly on his dashboard right now to tell me exactly what his SDK or what his sim apps racing or sim racing apps rather, or whatever his tools are telling him. If he can make that, that would be amazing. But he's also got the 16 behind him. He's got the 28 of Jordan Bain. He's got Justin Montz in that 41. Tom Flitcroft back there in the 8 as well. That's your top 5. They haven't pit either. But I tell you what, Jordan Bain right now sitting in P2. He's able to get on by Cody Giles. He's working his way up to this 5. If the 5 does stay out to lap 55, if that's the strategy he's got, if that's the strategy that Bain's got and Giles and Montz, he's not just going to set sail. These guys might be on to what he's doing. They just cannot get to racing each other. They can't let that 5 escape. He's shown that clean air has meant a world to the front end on that number 5 Target Chevrolet.
Yeah, so I may or may have not have done some snooping while you were talking, not checking out anybody's stream. Just saying they're roughly down to maybe 2 to 3 gallons left in that car. So time's starting to run out quickly, but they're at lap 47, which means they could find themselves at that halfway point if they do it right, which means this final, 55 laps, knocking on wood, saying there's going to be no cautions happening, we could see it come down to straight up field strategy and who has the field to go the distance. And the one man that right now that I've seen have it is the 5 of Brendan Book. He's been saving. He was saving. Now he's back in the gas trying to stay away from that 28. That's just my thought right now.
I tell you what, you are just a complete suspense killer. I try to build it in the race, and you just go ahead and say, well, I snooped. He's only got 3 gallons left. There it goes, out the window. No, I'm just kidding, buddy. So, yeah, right now, Brendan Book, Jordan Bain, Cody Giles, Justin Montz, Tom Flitcroft are your top 5. And so far, the 5 car of Brendan Book has been able to put down at least 6 cars 1 lap. As it looks like, it might be a little bit more than that since we're seeing more and more go on down pit road and he's staying out. Yeah, so right now still up to P24 is on the lead lap. 25th, 1 lap down. So 24 cars on the lead lap, and Brendan Book showing no signs so far of coming down pit road, but that 28 is getting bigger and bigger and bigger in that rear view.
Yep, objects appear closer than what they may look is what's happening right now between the 5 of Brendan Book and the 28 of Jordan Bain. Now you see the amount of ground he was able to gain in just 1 and 2. Here comes Bain down through the backstretch. I wouldn't be surprised if he has this 5 caught through the tri-oval or even in the 1.
But now think about this, all right? Earlier we went on board with the 5. We heard him kill the motor. Then we went through the 16, the 41, and the 28. The 28 of Bainer, he was not killing the motor. He wasn't saving anything, or at least the few corners that we rode on board with him. So if he did that earlier, great. If he didn't, he's going to have to pit, I would say, either this lap or the very next, because we're coming to that halfway point. Can they make it? And it's not only the halfway point, you've also got your out lap. So you're talking 55 plus 1 or 54 plus 2 in order to make it to 110.
One man was locking up down there on pit road. I have no clue who that was, but yeah. At the end of the day, you got to account for the fuel that you're coming down on. Yes, you kill a lap, but your out lap as well is going to come into effect. Meanwhile, that last lap, when you think you're done, I know I've done it mistakes a few times. I know other guys have done the mistakes a few times. You see 110 and you're like, okay, right there. That's it. That's all I need. No, you need 111 because you got to finish that lap as well. And at the end of the day, as you see a 75, Riley Dunn now going to make his way into this battle as a lap car. You got to account for almost everything. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's something maybe the 5 looked into or the 28 looked into, as these two still refusing to come on down pit road. But they are starting to get closer and closer in battle. I wouldn't be surprised if it starts to heat up just a tad here.
Absolutely. Both of these guys are great at getting on and off pit road. Bainer knows how to hit the flag. As you see the 5, he's going to go ahead and relinquish the lead. So this means that he's going to come on down. He's going to come across the start stripe to start lap 55. Bainer, he's gone around, so he's going to be 1 lap better on tires at the end, and also have 1 lap more fuel. So he's been able to save enough. So I'm going to guess that tells me that he was saving earlier than what we saw with the 5, and I'm listening. Yep, no, he was still under power. It almost sounded like he was out of gas. Coming to the commitment cone, great job. I don't know if he was a little too hot. If he was, he's going to pay for it. But this B-Water machine making his way all the way into his pit, that gave the lead, or handed the lead, over to James Holtzer, Timothy Moore P2, Jose Ruiz P3, Tyler Dohar P4, and the lead that Jordan Bain and others had so far, it still has Bain in P5, even though he's in his pit stall. And this is the start of lap number 56. So Jordan Bain's going to be very, very good now on the long run. He knows that he can save just a little bit and be able to complete the race with just 1 lap. Great job by him.
Yeah, most definitely. He came on down for 4 tires, filled that gas all the way up, got an extra bottle of B-Water to get him to the end of this race. Right now, like you said, he came out not that far behind the leaders. It's looking like P7, maybe P8 when it's all said and done, at least for now. Meanwhile, the 17 of James Holtzer, I believe, is our leader. Yes, he is. So James Holtzer out in the lead right now. Still has not come on down pit road, alongside the 74 of Timothy Moore and the 23 of Jose Ruiz, which I believe you were just talking about. These guys, could they be trying to get to that halfway point, if not even beyond it, to say, hey, you know what? I don't have to worry about fuel. I just have to get to the end of the race. And you know what? The more I think about it, weren't these 3 also involved in that very early wreck?
I was waiting to see if you were going to remember that him, the 47, and I believe the 23 of Jose Ruiz. They were all part of that little mishap behind the 94 of Sam Morris at right around lap 10. They came on down, changed up those tires, grabbed whatever they could, and came on back out. So yeah, those 3 can go at least another 3 laps, give or take. But yeah, James Holtzer, Tim Moore, Jose Ruiz, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, and the 41 of Justin Montz right now, your top 5. Brendan Book right now in P number 6 with Jordan Bain a mere 2.5 behind. So things are going to get heated up again at the end of this run, providing no caution. Now starting lap 60, we are officially past halfway, and yeah, they're doing it on 1 stop.
Yep, Holtzer now coming down for his 4 tires and fuel. Meanwhile, the 74, Timothy Moore now going to assume the lead with the 23 of Jose Ruiz right behind him. And those two still refusing to come on down pit road, but I wouldn't be surprised if it does happen this time by. I don't know that 23 did have some open lane. Nope. There goes the 74. 23 is going to stay out. He's now going to assume a lead and grab the lap lead, which is more points towards their season standings. Maybe that's what he was looking for. This time by, I'm sure he'll come on down.
Yeah, 57 came flying on by the back end of this number 23 DuPont Camaro. At least it's, as you said, at least it's on a Chevy. It's not on a Ford or a Toyota. That absolutely does look weird when that's the way it is. But you can imagine the 23, I don't think he might have had enough space, but I don't think he had enough room to whoa it up and slow it up to get on down pit road, especially when he knew that Timothy Moore was going to come on down. So Jose Ruiz, he's going to go ahead and hand the lead over to this number 8 car, Brandt Camaro, for Tom Flitcroft. And with Justin Montz behind him, then Brendan Book, Jordan Bain, John Hunnicutt right now. He's going to be your car in 6th place in this high-tech Camaro.
Yeah, Hunnicutt, one of our good friends. We love chatting with him. Last week there was a little incident that happened between us and Beatwater. I thought we were gonna get a whole all brawl, but he's chill. He is, and then he comes and we chat before races, even after races, and he just talks about how much fun he has. No matter which league he finds himself in, it's always a blast, and that's exactly what he's doing. And another one of those guys that always seems very excited is the Ada Thomas Flitcroft. And what was it last week? He was like, "Oh, Pete, I was so excited in New Hampshire. I was gonna have the win. I was gonna be able to talk with you." And then caution came out, screw up all my chances I had.
But you know what? He did exactly what I would have done too. He knew he wasn't gonna take the 17 on speed, so he stayed out. But unfortunately, everybody behind him came on in. But he still held on for like the next 5 laps on the oldest tires in the field. And unfortunately, a late wreck took him out of contention. Finished a little bit further back than he actually deserved. And right now he's trying to stay out, and he's got a good 3/10 lead on the 5 of Brendan Book, Justin Montz, Jordan Bain, and John Hunnicutt. That's going to be your top 5 one more time. And after the round of green flag pit stops, it looks like we're right back where we were, -1. Toll Owens has joined the crowd 1 lap down. That's going to leave 23 cars now on the lead lap here from Texas Motor Speedway. If you're just joining, I am joined by the one and only Byron Jones, and this is the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by Beatwater, racing every single Wednesday night. They're about 3 or 4 races away from the first round of playoffs. A little bit of a broadcast note. Next week, when they head to Nashville Super Speedway, it's going to be Byron Jones, and it's going to be Expert Racing's channel. So it's XR Network. So it's twitch.tv/XR Network. You're not going to want to miss it. Make sure you go on over, give him a follow, leave notifications on. That way you know when he goes live. You're not going to miss a single moment of action, again, from Nashville Super Speedway.
That one's going to be exciting to watch, because it's just, it seems like every time I go there, it looks like it's, I tried putting out the link there, trying to help him out just a little, but it got denied. Dang Montz. No, I'm just messing around. I
guess I just gotta do the deal here.
Do the deal. Settle it.
There we go. You might have to go back out and come back in, but happy modification to you. All right, so Brendan Book still leading. Tom Flitcroft, or Brendan Book now leading, I should say. Tom Flitcroft now back to P2. Justin Montz, Jordan Bain, and John Hunnicutt. Let's actually see if we can find how that pass happened. 8 washed up, just about a half a lane. 5 down there on newer tires. Looks like the 8 just kind of fall in behind. keeping this a little bit of a draft. Just going to tuck on in, and away the 5's going to go. And I think the next car in his sights is going to be that 34. Let's go ahead and bring it back live.
Yep. He's trying to track down the 34 right now. Meanwhile, 34 is trying to run with the 10. And that 5, I thought he was going to bring the 8, trying to say, come sail away with me, but it's not going to happen. 5 of Brendan Book now out on his lonesome, trying to use up maybe the draft of the 34, possibly trying to save fuel, just saying could come down to that. If it does, Brendan Book right now has prime opportunity to do it. He's behind the 34. He can let off a little bit and stay within his draft. And the gap he has between him and the 8 of Thomas Flitcroft, I think it's more than enough time, especially with Tom having a lap car in between him.
Yeah, so he's got a little bit of a pull from the 34 through the corner, of course, down through the tri-oval and down the backstretch as well. So he's got a little bit of help up front. Meanwhile, behind Tom Flitcroft, he's back here. You see the 24, you see the 41, and you see the 28 of Jordan Bain. 41 and the 28, they look like they're somewhat working together. If they can catch on up to that 8, they'll make a 3-car tango and see if maybe they can run this 5-car back down. But so far, Byron, that 5 has absolutely shown to be the class of the field tonight. As far as class of the field of different nights, let's go on back and see if we can't find James Holtzer. Looks like he's back here in about P11 in this Raise Energy Camaro. And if we go to a couple of different camera angles, really nobody anywhere around him. He's got a little bit of help from the 11 right in front of him again, and that's going to be Jacob Kerr, but absolutely nobody behind him. So that means the gap between 11th and 12th, absolutely huge. Looks like to be almost 4/10 back to the 10 of Hunter Brittle.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's a huge time. There you go, right there. You can see him just coming out of that corner as the 17 is already down at the start-finish line. Even through 1 and 2, you won't see him until about maybe 3/4 of the way, almost a full corner he has on that 10 of Hunter Brittle. Man, I can't find my words today. Words are hard, I tell you. But the 11 of Jacob Kerr now going to fall victim to the 17 of James Holtzer. James Holtzer up 18 positions, looking for more. He's got about 11 seconds to catch on that leader of 5 of Brendan Book. I don't think that's just going to happen here in Texas. I wouldn't be surprised if Brendan starts closing that gap once again.
Well, I tell you, he's seen that the 5 stayed out after that first caution. He pit on lap 55, start of lap 56, which means he's going to be good to go. But Jordan Bain, again, he pit 1 lap later, which means Jordan Bain can stay in the gas just a tad bit more. And actually, speaking of Bain, looks like he's moved up into P3. He just came into view coming through the tri-oval just ahead of Justin Montz and behind the 8 of Tom Flitcroft. So he's got a push from behind, a pull from ahead. We'll have to see if he can find his way back up to the 5. He proved to be better on the long run earlier. Shad out there in chat saying, he's using lessons learned from, I'm not going to say his father. He's using lessons learned from driver number 1 in the Turn Down for What series, which, oh, by the way, will be kicking back off again pretty soon, but you'll still be able to catch them tomorrow night in their Thunder series. That'll actually be with Expert Racing and I'm not sure who Expert Racing and Terry Radford in the booth tomorrow night. And I believe that's going to be from Pocono. So make sure you tune in again. Go on down and smash that link for Expert's channel and keep notifications on so you know when he goes live. That's going to be a good race as well from the Tricky Triangle.
And you're talking about Jordan Bain having to push from behind and pull from ahead. Look at this. Now he's on the back bumper of that 8, but the 5 also technically has a push from behind and a pull from ahead as he's trying to pull on the 34 of Jordan McGraw. But I've sort of noticed he hasn't made any maneuvers around the 34. He stayed almost locked in behind him, trying to keep with trying to keep within that draft of the 34. as you see the 75 now of Riley Dunn, also known as Holy Nugget, as some would put it over on the Xbox side, falling victim to that 5. And that's another car that now finds themselves one lap down. 5, though, going to get in a little bit of a battle here between the 75 and himself.
Yeah, 34 trying to do everything that he can to be the last car so far on the lead lap. But you know what? I believe this is Holy Nugget or Dunn's first race. So good job by him to get out here, get his feet wet, doing a pretty good job. But he's in the field with a bunch of guys with their iRatings in the 3s and the 4s, a couple in the 5s, 1 or 2 in the 6s. This field is not. This is not an easy field by any means. There's a bunch of really, really fast guys in here. I mean, when you talk about James Holtzer, which we're finding right now behind the 37 of Elliott Henderson, this man's sitting on over a 6K rating. All right. Elliott Henderson, 4,100. Joey Stone sitting over $3,000. Behind him, Jacob Kerr, a little over or just about 2,100. Tyler Dohar sitting at about 4,100. So there's some really good racers in here that have been able to build their licenses up, spend a lot of time in officials, building their experience, and doing a great job. Shad out there in chat saying, start playing that Jaws music. Bain is coming. We'll pick up with that B-Water Mustang one more time. Still see the 41 behind. Looks like the 75 has been able to find a hole behind. Tom Flitcroft up ahead. So it looks like Bain, he hasn't really made up much. He's sitting at about 8/10 behind P2 right now, Byron.
Yeah, if anybody gained any sort of distance, it would be that 8 of Tom Flitcroft.
Yep.
Now on that rear end bumper of that 5 and closing in. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a battle between these two within maybe a few laps if they do. But they also got to keep in mind, hey, maybe fuel's a factor. Maybe we don't want this 28 in the battle and we just be content with pushing each other until maybe 5 to go. And then we battle it out amongst ourselves. Ton of strategy that can happen here. We'll have to see what this 8 does.
Yeah, the 8 kind of felt robbed after last week. You mentioned, he was happy he was going to be able to maybe make it on. Oh, look at this!
Whoa.
What is this? These guys were able to go the distance before, or maybe I don't know. Something. Maybe they just didn't feel positive. He brought it on down pit road, grabbed a set of tires. He's got it. No sense in being, terribly slow. But he went 50-plus laps earlier. I don't know why he's pitting now.
I don't know.
So we're going to go ahead and catch up with Jordan Bain. He's just been handed the lead. The 41 of Justin Montz, Maxwell Castro now P3, Cody Giles P4, and James Holtzer, the guy that's going for 6 wins on the season, moves himself up to P5.
Well, Shad was talking about playing the Jaws music earlier. No need to do that. He's right here now. He's up in the lead. He's got control of this entire race. While the 41 of Justin Montz, like you said, hot on his trail, trying to track him down. I don't think he's going to be able to. Bain just out on a Sunday drive now. He's got to be able to maybe save his fuel, try to take care of those tires. Don't really do anything that, me or Pete wouldn't do, which is really try to drive the rear end of the car off and gain as many positions as possible. But yeah, this 28, like I said, he's just out on a Sunday drive at this point. He's got nobody to worry about, and I'm sure that 41 is thinking the same thing.
Shout out there saying the caution allowed them to go 55 laps. The caution was only for 2 laps. So they've got, 25 laps to go. I don't think 2 laps of caution speed would allow them to go an extra 25 laps. That math doesn't really set with me, but man, I don't know. I just don't know. That really just threw me off. Either that or he knew Jordan was faster on the long run. He came on down. You actually just saw that 5 come into frame about 3 or 4 cars back. We'll actually go on back and pick up with him right. Nope, that's Cody Kalinka. That's not him. I'm looking for him right now, I promise.
Hang on really quickly before you go back to him. I
Okay.
want you to go in the cockpit of that 28 and listen to his car.
Ooh. All right, so riding cockpit with Jordan Bain going down the backstretch.
If it is what I think it is.
Yep.
Yep.
You
Yep.
called it, my friend. Absolutely killing that motor. He is one of the ones that went the distance earlier. Let me see. Let's look at these gauges. Oil pressure.
Whoa, wow.
Yeah, look at that 5 just fly on by. He's feeling like Superman right now on those new tires. But that's just him getting his lap back. He still has to come all the way around. You see the 8 car right there as well. The 8 car and the 5, they went in nose to tail down pit road. There's the 50 of John Hunnicutt. All 3 of those guys just getting their lap back. But yeah, Jordan Bain absolutely clutching it at both ends of the track. Good call.
Yeah, I noticed. I heard his car shutting off just a little bit in the corners. And the last time by, he was shutting it off all the way back there at the red into this corner, and he didn't turn it back on until halfway through here. So that's making me think this is really going to come down to who's going to have that extra just drop of fuel, or who's going to be that guy that can come on down pit road, get off, and get their car all the way back around within time. I mean, these guys got roughly 20 laps left in the race. They can most certainly take their lap around the track and get right back up with this leader.
Absolutely. The 28 now all over the back end of the 9. That's going to be Cody Giles, old Sledgehammer, back in the day on Xbox. Good to see him out here. I tell you what, when I first started following HD Motorsports on Twitch, before I found his channel, I actually found Cody Kalinka's, and they were at Sonoma, and he was streaming. Man, that guy was absolutely pushing that car for all he could. It's actually what got me watching D4C back in the day before they rebranded to NNR. And man, he's a hell of a guy. Master Killer out there saying he has an absolutely beautiful B-Water scheme. MK, I couldn't agree with you more. I prefer this scheme over the blue scheme or the white scheme. I'm loving this black and blue.
Yeah, it's looking bad to the bone. It's really good. I love the way the colors just clash so well. You even look the nice cyan. Well, that's what I'm gonna put it. Cyan 28. It looks very good. But another car that also looks very good that you keep sort of reminiscing back around the Phantom Freeze is the 17 of James Holtzer, which one of those guys we love to keep an eye on. He's up to P4. And he's not really stopping. He was one of those guys that came on down at lap 59. Could he be a potential shot in the dark that comes from nowhere?
Yeah, he's just about an even 3 seconds behind Cody Giles. He is about a little under 3 seconds, 2.6. So these two kind of working together just a little bit. Holtzer not really pushing to try to go under or around on the high side, whichever, just staying in the tire tracks of old Fluffy. And yeah, they're going to do what they can. And of course, just as I say that, I think maybe that 17 is listening in car. He's going to go underneath the 16, going to go ahead and try to take that spot. Really no try needed. Gonna dive right back in front of the 24 and try to continue to make time. Now Justin Montz in this 41 able to get on by the 28 of Bainer and move this gamer advantage Chevy Camaro up to P1. Again, beautiful paint scheme.
Yeah, beautiful paint scheme for sure. We talk about it, the chrome and matte, it clashes so well, but the one thing I'm sort of seeing from him, he's not letting off, he's not pushing down on the clutch, and wasn't he the same guy we were talking about earlier that may not have that extra clutch pedal or H-pattern shifter? And nope, he's going to stay within the RPM, so this is going to be interesting. You got one of the guys saving, one of the guys that's not, and how's it all going to sort of play out?
Yeah, it's really going to be interesting. He didn't save it all in 1 and 2. Let's see, down low and dirty in here in 3 and 4. Nope, not saving there either, at least not on this lap. Jordan Bain, as you see the 41 right in front of him, not too far off the lead. will, as he comes across the start stripe, 15 laps to go, and he is clutching it early. I mean, he clutched it as soon as he came across the start stripe to take 15 to go, and didn't get back into gas until more than halfway through turns 1 and 2. So he stretched it earlier, just not while he was on camera with us before, and the same thing there. Clutched it getting into the entrance of the corner, back on the throttle just before halfway through, staying on the gas, getting to the line, and on key, there it is again, went ahead and killed it one more time. Jordan Bain, he is absolutely all over it. I think he feels like he's good to go, probably just has to continue to save just a little bit. Now, we saw Brendan Book, the 8 of Tom Flitcroft, and one other get on by him and the 41 earlier. Let's go on and back and pick up with Brendan Book. Right now he's sitting in P number 9. Oh, what, half a track away. So he's still got a lot of time to make up and only 13 laps to do it in.
He's going to need either one of those guys to run out of fuel or 2, a caution to come out, because I don't think anything's going to sort of be his saving grace at this point. He's got to wheel that thing extremely hard, and I mean extremely hard. Like, you got to full-on blow past everybody. You got to get on down there. You got to make your entrance and exits almost perfect every time without scrubbing the tires or doing anything. Although this has been the man to watch the entire race. His speed has been unpredictable at points and absolutely phenomenal with the amount of speed he's been able to carry through corners. But like you said, I don't think it's enough. He's got to make up almost 14 seconds within these last 12 laps.
Yeah, I think that's probably going to be an insurmountable amount of time unless, as you said, something does happen. Justin Montz still leads. Jordan Bain, P2. James Holtzer, P3. Cody Giles, P4. And Joey Stone in that number 6 finds himself in P number 5 ahead of the 27 of Maxwell Castro. Maxwell Castro, this might actually be his best possible finish, if I'm not mistaken. But right now, yeah, running inside the top 10, Tyler Dohar in that 77, running in P7. Brendan Book up to P8, but still many seconds behind. Definitely want to thank everybody that's out there in chat for coming out, hanging out, chatting it up, keeping me and old Byron company. Now coming to 10 to go next time.
Yeah, I was trying to listen and see through 3 and 4 if that 6 was letting off, but I don't think he is.
I think Justin Montz had a problem. Got down on the apron. Is he going to save it? Oh, he fenced it into the inside wall just a little bit. So far, no caution. Looks like we're going to stay alive. He's going to throw it in gear and come on down pit road. Get that thing topped off and come on back out. That's going to give Jordan Bain the lead back with James Holtzer, Cody Giles, Joey Stone, and now Maxwell Castro up to P number 5. This is all Jordan Bain from here on out. He has to be steady. He's got to be consistent. Continue to save if that's what he's had to do. And James Holtzer as well. Man, this right here, without us knowing how they're doing on fuel, how they're doing on tires, what's going to happen, Byron?
I don't know. Let me go snoop really quickly.
No.
I know. We got to make this one exciting at this point. The first one was like, yeah, okay. They got to find themselves halfway, but now it's like, are they going to be able to get to the end of the race? Is this going to happen? Did you see the 17 James Holtzer? Looks like he's starting to let off just a little, but he has an advantage. After that wreck he had happen between him and Jose Ruiz, he's been able to come on down, get the tires, get the fuel. He has almost 10 to 12 extra laps over that 28, and it looks like he's not letting off a bit. Just starting to catch that 28, maybe letting him create that gap just a little, but at the end of the day, 17's got to start catching some sort of speed to get to the rear end of this 28.
Yeah, he's got to try something, but at the same point, by this time, tires, they are equaled out. You're going off of what you got in the tank. With just 7 laps remaining, there's no more pitting. Boehner has made his bet. He's got to lie in it. shout out there in chat saying Boehner ain't saving anymore, which tells me he's hit his point to where he's good to go. However, if a caution should come out, like we've seen a couple times over the last few weeks, with about 5 or less laps to go, he's going to have to come in. I don't think he's saved enough for a green-white checker, but then again, we don't exactly know as they come on by the good old swag.biz car, the alternate sponsor for the FilterTime eSpark Xfinity Series, hydrated by B-Water. Right now, B-Water up there in P number 1. We got an alternate energy drink right behind in P number 2. Boy, oh boy.
Boy, oh boy, is right. Things are now starting to heat up, and things are starting to get even more interesting. At this point, like you said, Bain has made his bed. He can't do anything past this point. He is where he is, and you can't change that. And then you got, of course, the 5 of Brendan Book, one of those guys that came on down earlier, trying to get his field, trying to get his tires to catch right back up to the field, still finding himself roughly 14 seconds back from the leader, so I don't think he's going to catch them anytime soon. But it all looks like 16 to Cody Giles now going to find himself on down pit road. There you go. Cody Giles now going to come on down pit road. That puts the 5 of Brendan Book up to P3 now.
Yeah, 5 of Brendan Book in P3. Matt Killer out there saying he's just carrying it into the corner. So Jordan Bain right now in the lead as he comes across the line. That's going to be 3 laps to go here, Byron. 3 more laps is 28 of Jordan Bain trying to win his first eSpark race. So far it has been Hunnicutt won Daytona. Nate Nicholson won the Glen. James Holtzer has won everything else. This would be just our 4th different winner in what 8? This is what our 7th or 8th start.
8th, I think it is, if I do it right.
Yep.
You got the 2, and then this is our 8th race because 2 different winners, and then Holter has won 5 times. So
there you go.
That's 3 in total. So 8 is what this race will come out to. Hopefully, we have 4 different winners. Therefore, I don't know if they're doing the points based off that, but do you know if winners get locked into the playoffs, or is it still just based off of points?
I don't read the rules. No, I'm just kidding. No, Jordan Bain coming off of turn 4. He's only got to do that 4 more times, Byron, across the start stripe. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go, sponsored by our buddies over at FilterTime and B-Water, as well as the swag.biz. Go on over to swag.biz.com. Take a look around. Pick what you like. Tell them Repeat and Byron sent you. Maybe that'll get you a quarter or a pass on the subway. I don't know. But here it is coming off the corner. Jordan Bain in this number 28 B-Water machine. He's going to go ahead and grab the W here at Texas. Congratulations, Boehner.
How about that? One of those guys that last week we saw he was up contending and then he fell off a ton. He's had that happen a few times. His, I guess, speed wasn't there, but now he's found it. He's right back, and I think he's in his groove now. 28 Jordan Bain, a phenomenal win here at Texas, especially being able to save that field and holding off that 17.
So it looks like our top 5 is going to be Jordan Bain, obviously right here. James Holtzer, P2. Brendan Book came on back to finish P3. Tom Flitcroft, Tom in that number 8, was able to come back P4. Tyler Dohar, great point snipe for him, P5. Jose Ruiz, P6. John Hunnicutt, P7. Tim Moore, P8. 9th is going to be Sam Morris and Maxwell Castro, P10. Go ahead and burn it down, Boehner.
How about that? He's even going to go ahead and grab those big old 6-shooters and fire those off, too. As now he takes his, I believe it's a Polish victory lap, which is essentially going around the track backwards.
Absolutely. He's done this in everywhere that he could, whether it was in SNR or if it was in Turn Down for What, in NNR, wherever. This is something that he's done. He is an absolute historian of NASCAR of yesteryear. Big fan of Alan Kulwicki. If you ever get a chance, message Boehner and say, hey man, can you send me a picture of your NASCAR setup? You see, he's got I'm guessing it's a garage or a finished basement, but the man's got tons of die cast. He's got a great setup that he races off of, and he's going to go ahead and just have some fun here in the infield.
It was a well-deserved amount of fun he's able to pick up. But yeah, you talk about that, just the amount of stuff he can go over and mention something about a certain driver, and just the amount of, I guess, memory that man has, or the amount of stats, whatever info you have on that driver. He's just about got it all. One of those mans that we saw over NNR. He dominated over there. He came over the iRacing, has done just as well, if not even better. That just goes to show how much work he has truly put in to get him where he is now.
Yeah, I tell you what, he went around and he got back to the line, did his little spin through the O'Reilly Auto Parts 500 grass, and ran out of gas. That was it.
Oh.
He was done. That's why the 50 of Hunnicutt came on up, gave him a little shot in the bumper. Boehner said, nah, man, I am good. All right, ladies and gents, stay right there. We are going to be back with your top three. We'll start off with driver 5, Brendan Book, pick up the 17 of Holtzer, and then end it all with the 28 of Jordan Bain, tonight's winner. Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back. All right, guys and gals, we are back with your top three, starting off with James. I did that wrong. Why didn't you tell me?
I did. I tried telling you, and you're like, oh, we're going to pull him in here. Like, yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Let's get old Brendan Book down here. All right, so here we go. Brendan Book, P number 3, driver 5 of that Target Camaro. Brendan, buddy, old pal. Man, you had one hell of a ride tonight, completely dominated. Had to come on down for gas. Both you and the 8 came in together. You made up most of the time. Led most laps. It's going to be a great points night for you. Almost, sir. Almost.
Hello?
Yep, got you, Brendan. You got us?
Sorry, I had my stuff muted.
Oh, I tell you.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, I'm ready now.
Oh, you didn't hear anything I just said?
No,
Yeah.
Not yet.
Okay.
I was like,
All right, well, nope. Go right ahead, Byron.
Well, Mr. Brendan Book, basically, you were able to rally back from what we thought you were going to find yourself back towards the back of the pack after that, we thought, very confusing pit stop that you had happen with about roughly 20, 25 left to go in the race. What sort of made your decision spiral that way and leads you and the Ada Thomas Flitcroft on down pit road? And especially with you being very, very late down there, maybe you were thinking, well, at least I thought you were going to have some sort of black flag happen, but man, what happened?
no, yeah, so I knew that James and then a couple other guys, probably could make it on one more stop because they pitted on that first yell that we had with like 7 laps to go, and I knew I couldn't save enough fuel and keep pace. which somehow Bain did. So kudos to him, and it worked out for him. But so I was figuring, after I pitted that first stop, I was gonna split the last like 56 laps in half. So I pitted with 28 laps to go, and I figured that'd be the best opportunity to try to gain time. And then not have to do a splash and go and have really really old tires like Cody and some of those other guys did that they didn't have a chance to race back up. So and obviously with doing that, I was really hoping a yellow wouldn't come out until I got back on the lead lap, and it went green all the way, and still found myself P3. Really wishing it would have maybe add like 5 more laps or so. I could have beat those guys because they would have ran out or had to pit or something, or maybe the strategies would have been completely different. But overall, still happy with leading a lot of laps and 0x top 3 again. So got to keep it rolling.
Well, one hell of a night you've had tonight, Brendan, especially now that you're finding yourself maybe getting closer again in on that 17 of James Holtzer points-wise. But walking out of Texas, heading in the Nashville Super Speedway, two sort of different tracks depending on how you look at it. What's your plan of attack once you head on over there?
I mean, I think just the same thing as always. Try to get a good starting spot, to set yourself up for the whole race. Allow yourself to save some tire because that always helps. Starting in the back, you might tend to drive a little bit harder to, to gain track position, and then it could kill you in, the last like quarter of the run or so. And then just keep the car clean. Keep the car clean. Most cases, you're gonna finish top 10 because you don't have to, be off pace because of damage or have to make an unscheduled pit stop or anything like that. So. I mean, that's how I kind of take most races. Nashville will be a little bit different because it's probably a little bit tougher track than most. But hopefully we'll make it work.
Well, man, congrats on your P3 tonight. Before we let you go, though, you got anybody you'd like to thank?
Just everybody. Everybody was racing clean for the most part. It was a lot of fun out there. I mean, I'll be honest, I was surprised we only had 1 yellow, so that was a lot of, fun, hard racing with some people. Up there up front, and then admin's doing a good job as well, and then everybody that I work with as far as racing, communicating, like Tom, we kind of worked together there when we pitted. So I guess that's about it.
There you go then. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the 5 target machine. Brendan Book bringing it home P3 tonight. And then Pete, I mean, you got this very random man in this unfamiliar spot. I believe it is the 17 of James Holtzer.
You're talking about the beast in this Raise energy machine. There is absolutely nothing random about James Holtzer in the lobby or in the booth. Yet again, sitting in his Raise hydration pack booth, or a chair right next to me. Man, Holtzer, you came through the field. That seems to be your MO week after week. This time you had to kind of fight for it a little bit more. It took you a little bit longer to work your way up, but eventually you found yourself in P2. Great job, sir, yet again. These points seem to be coming pretty easy for that Raise Camaro. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, it's been a pretty good run here the last couple weeks. Just continuing momentum here, P2. Yeah, we started in the back, and it's a tough balance here because you could push early and pass, but you're going to pay for it on the back end, and definitely did that kind of in that first run. So, we just kind of burnt the right front off there that last run once we got the Bain, and he was saving the fuel, so he was able to go ahead and kind of pull away there at the end, but. We were kind of boxed in, and we were involved in that first caution as they were checking up on the high side, and I didn't see what was going on, and I just didn't have enough time to check up. And admins threw a caution there, and I popped off on fuel, and that was able to get us to make it there. Ideally, I probably should have pit a lap sooner. Probably could have been there, but nonetheless, it was a great race by Bain. He was able to save the fuel and keep the pace, and props to him. He deserved it.
Man, it's that was a great race. I mean, we didn't know who was gonna win. My little buddy over here decided he was gonna go and snoop on somebody's dashboard, see exactly how much fuel they had when we were wondering what the 5 and the 28 and these others were, what they were doing.
Wonder who that could be.
Yeah, I have no idea. But man, one hell of a race. I know, if you're on the Raise Energy Facebook or their Discord or whatever. I hope they follow you, they tweet you out, because you are absolutely one of their best ambassadors on iRacing. Definitely one of the strongest racers that I've come across. Congratulations on this P2 one more time. Any quick shout outs for you, sir?
Yeah, thank you so much, Pete. Just got to thank everybody up in the booth as always for a great broadcast. Got to shout out Bainer for an awesome P1 there. Great show. Also got to thank everybody on the car from Raise Energy, Laurel Auto Group, Next Level Motorsports, all those guys. And also got to thank our admin team for doing a great job week in, week out. And with the issues with the lobby that we had, got everything fixed up and everything was going quickly, and went on and had a heck of a race.
One more quick shout out, because I did hear that that podcast that both you and Montz put together. Guys and gals out there in chat, go on over to Spotify and look up iRace. It's the new podcast that Jaden Gimbel has put out. His most recent guests were old Mr. Montz and Mr. Holtzer right here, finishing P2 tonight. Congratulations, sir.
Thanks, Pete. Yeah, it's a great broadcast. Go give it a listen.
Absolutely. All right, let's go ahead and get old Mr. Bainer in here. As soon as my mouse decides it wants to do what it's supposed to do. Oh, he's already here. How about that?
Yeah.
All right, driver 28. Old Byron, you got him.
Man, Mr. Beatwater, Mr. Consistent, Mr. Speedy, however you want to put it, Jordan Bain, being able to walk away here at Texas with, I believe someone said, maybe 3.3 gallons of a tank left in your car when you came across the start straps. Man, walk us through your entire race, because I'm sure it was hectic all throughout.
Man, that one's probably one of my proudest wins on iRacing, just given the circumstances. You know, I calculated, about 52 laps was as far as we could go on a tank if it went green. When I practiced, I knew I had to go 55, and I knew there was a bunch of guys who weren't going to have to save. And boy, that was, I couldn't have done that better. I couldn't have executed that more perfectly. So I'm happy about that. If you still get beat, you get beat, but there were plenty of ways I could have beat myself in that race. And I'm so happy. I mean, just minor things that I could have done differently that would have lost it. So I'm just really pumped. I mean, anytime you can win with a group of guys like this in eSpark, that's really cool. It was the old, some guys didn't have to worry about fuel, but had to deal with traffic like Holtzer. And then I kind of knew when I stretched, I almost ran out coming to the first pit stop. I was on 0.1, like in the middle of 3 and 4, and I didn't know if I make it all the way down pit road at pace, and I barely did. And so, I mean, it was just everything I had to do everything perfect, and that's what we did. And so pumped. That was cool.
Well, man, you're able to go ahead, shoot off those 6 shooters. Obviously, typically you're up with Pete on Monday nights, calling races over in the Beatwater series. I don't typically see you on track much anymore, but you do still come out on track, and when you do, man, you just absolutely dominate. And heading in from Texas, finding your way over the Nashville Super Speedway, how do you sort of transition from that being a 1.5 mile track to maybe a mile and a half track still, but having the break within the corners?
I don't know. I suck at Nashville. Like, I really do. Like, I'm not going to be good there. And when I say not good, like, I'm going to probably be struggling for a top 10. I cannot figure out that track to save my life. I ran like 2 different races there and only got 1 top 10 because I was able to save fuel there, which is funny because it was that race that I learned how to do what I did tonight, and tonight it resulted in a win. So, yeah, you always go out, always want to learn stuff. I don't dominate this league. Holtzer definitely does, and it would have been fun if we were kind of maybe on the same strategy to see what would have happened, because I felt like my pace was pretty good overall, just normal race pace. So, but you race it the way it plays out, and long green runs are always my friend anytime I hop on here. So, yeah, man, we're gonna suck at Nashville's to answer your question, but we'll try to get better at it.
Well, man, not sort of the enthusiasm I thought you were gonna have into that, but let's just say, man, once again, congrats on your P1. Before we let you go shoot off those 6-shooters. You got anybody you'd like to thank?
Thank you guys. As Pete knows, I'm not I'm not lying about the Nashville thing. I normally say what I feel. I think there was an interview with Pete a while back where he asked me, where do I think I'll be good? And I said everywhere. And I'm telling you right now, next week's going to be a struggle. But thank you to Bewater, all those guys, Lenny and Amy who support me through there, and all their sponsorship and for the league they're putting on. Thanks to Dohar and all the admins for what they do for eSpark here. All the drivers, I mean, really courteous the whole race. Tough track, especially if it's one of your first long races here. And we only had that first caution. Went green the rest of the way, so pretty cool. But a lot of people to thank, but appreciate you guys. Appreciate Bewater, everyone who does eSpark. I'm out.
There you go. Mic drop just like that. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, your winner here at Texas, the 28 of Jordan Bain.
There you go. So big congratulations one more time to Jordan Bain, old Bainer, for knocking it out of the park here at Texas Motor Speedway. Yep. Byron, this is a good example of the fastest guy doesn't always win the race, as Dale Earnhardt once said. The 5 had the field covered, but hey, Jordan Bain able to steal it on fuel mileage, and good for him. Way to end up in the winners column for the first time this season. Still quite a bit of racing to go. Guys and gals out there in chat, I put Expert Racing's Twitch link out there just a little bit ago. Please go on over, smash it one more time, give it a follow. Again, leave notifications on so you know exactly when we go live. But I have to say a very, very big thank you. All right, throughout the stream, I'm kind of keeping an eye on things. You're watching the link. I see Boehner went ahead and subbed. I want to thank him again. But this stream put me over 10,000 views on my channel. Thank you all very, very much. Don't ever think for a moment that it goes unnoticed, because I noticed things like that. I could have just let that roll and go, till whenever or wherever it may stop. But thank you all. You hit 10,001 views on this channel. I appreciate every single one of you. All right, so guys, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. Again, tomorrow night it's going to be Expert Racing with Terry Radford in the booth for the turn down for Thursday Thunder Series from Pocono Raceway, and then we will be back next week. Y'all have a great night. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we appreciate you. Have a great night, guys. Thank you, Byron.